Hello. It's Kumayo Hildid. Sometimes, I feel like I'm pretty much Shahrazad, yeah? Or Shahrazade. Shahrazade. So, I feel like, all the stories people read in books I've lived it without even being aware, I've lived it. I'm the experience. So now that I'm 40, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of interesting life you've lived, right? Anyways, so let's get into the story. So, I have a fascinating story to share with you today, right? Today's story involves pregnancies, morning sickness, cravings, college campuses, and unexpected twists. Yesterday, I found myself craving pomegranate juice, which then prompted me to make a short little trip to the local shop. Yeah, so which prompted me to make a trip to the local shop, right? So, where I've been enjoying ever since. So, last night at 5 o'clock, couldn't sleep. 5 o'clock, I woke up, my throat was dry, right? So, then I go downstairs and get myself a glass of pomegranate juice, right? And I drank it. Oh, it was heaven. Went back to sleep, and then ever since I've been drinking it, right? So let's get into the story. So, about 2 decades ago, when I was expecting my first child, so things took an unexpected turn when morning sickness kicked in. So, strangely, I developed a dislike to chicken, right? So, I had this aversion to chicken, a food that I once enjoyed regularly with my husband. So, throughout the entire 9 months of my pregnancy, chicken was off limits for me and my household. However, my true craving during that time was pomegranates. Despite living near the snowy mountains of Pennsylvania, I often craved for fresh pomegranates or pomegranates of any kind. So let's continue on. I vividly recall a particular moment during a snowstorm when I insisted that my then husband accompany me to find pomegranates. Despite his initial disbelief and attempts to dissuade me, I was determined to get my hands on this fruit. Even though my college classes were cancelled due to the storm, I relied on his driving skills on snowy roads to fulfill my cravings. After what felt like an eternity, we finally managed to obtain the coveted pomegranates. Quite an adventure, right? Madness, right? Guess what his name is? Anyways, I have a story that goes with his name as well. Yeah, but that's the story for another day. Let's continue. Let me give you the history of the pomegranate, where the fruit came from and the stories that are told about this fruit. So let's get into the history of the pomegranates, right? So the pomegranate, scientifically known as Punica granatum, is a fruit-bearing deciduous shrub that is believed to have originated in the region that spans from Iran to northern India. It has a long history dating back thousands of years and is considered one of the oldest known fruits. Let me add this fun fact, yeah? Do you know Thomas Jefferson, yeah, the third president of the US? Do you know he actually introduced um, pomegranate orchards at his his mansion, yeah, or his plantation, because he was a farmer, right? Monticello. He was the one who planted pomegranate orchards there. Ain't that interesting? You're following still? So let's continue. Let's continue on. Pomegranates have been cultivated and consumed in regions like the Middle East, North Africa, and the Mediterranean for millennia. They're often associated with cultural and religious traditions. In ancient Greece, pomegranates were considered a symbol of fertility and prosperity. Ooh, fertility, y'all hear that? In ancient Egypt, they were buried with the pharaohs as a symbol of eternal life. Let's get into the religious and biblical bit, yeah? In the biblical history, pomegranates are mentioned numerous times in the Old Testament. They're said to have decorated the pillars of Solomon's temple and were included in the design of the priestly garments. Pomegranates are also associated with the story of the promised land in the Bible. Since I come from the Islamic tradition, let's see what it says. In the Islamic history, the pomegranate is mentioned in the Quran as one of the fruits of paradise, symbolizing righteousness. It's believed to have numerous health benefits and is often consumed during religious festivals and ceremonies. Ain't that interesting? Today, pomegranates are widely cultivated in regions with a Mediterranean climate, including California, Spain, India, and the Middle East. They're prized for their health benefits, including being rich in antioxidants and vitamin C. Good for fertility. Y'all better drink that juice or eat that pomegranate. Pomegranate juice is popular for its taste and potential health benefits, making the fruit a versatile and beloved symbol in cultural, culinary, and religious context. Y'all remember the story that Eve tempted Adam with? The forbidden fruit, right? So, in the Bible, the fruit that Eve gave to Adam in the story of the Garden of Eden is traditionally interpreted as an apple, right? However, the actual fruit is not specifically named in the Bible. Did y'all know that? I read that years ago somewhere. The association of the forbidden fruit with an apple may have originated from biblical art and later cultural interpretations. Oh my god, guys, y'all, this makes me suspicious now. Because they say an apple keeps the doctor away. You think the doctors are trying to kill us? Maybe the apple is the poison and the pomegranate is the fruit of eternal life. You know what I'm saying? Pomegranate to heal, an apple to kill. That's a possibility, you know? So, anyways, some scholars and historians suggest that the fruit could have been a pomegranate or another type of fruit common in the Middle East at the time, which can only be a pomegranate. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, the focus of the story is on the act of disobedience rather than the specific type of fruit involved. Yeah, that's academically. Yeah, while the apple is the most commonly depicted fruit in Western art and culture, in reference to the story of Adam and Eve, the actual identity of the forbidden fruit remains a subject of interpretation, speculation, and debate. But if you ask me, as a woman who had cravings and morning sickness and is a witness, I'd say it was a pomegranate, right? So maybe we need to reevaluate the story, right? Let's get back to the books. Okay, so now that we got the relevant stuff, yeah, the important things out of the way, let me just add this because this is quite important as well. So, a couple of months ago, like a few months ago, probably 3, 4 months ago, right? I met this guy who was making pomegranate and Sicilian. He called it pomegranate and Sicilian oranges, and he was mixing it. So I bought it from him, and he was selling it in Richmond. You know, the artist market in Richmond, London. You know, not Richmond, Virginia, even though it is named after that. Richmond, Virginia is named after Richmond, London. So I was working there at the time, yeah. And it was so nice. So he was like, yeah, I started this business. And he was telling me where he got the pomegranate. And he got the pomegranate from Israel. And I was like, he was a Jamaican guy. Anyway, so I bought it and I was like, cool, whatever. Yeah, so I was like, cool, I'll support you, whatever. I bought it from him. It was really nice. And then I shared a little bit with my client. He loved it as well. So I say that because it's going to make this whole Israel thing and the business thing is going to make sense when I get to the rest of the story. But I was telling him at the same time, I was like, listen, where I come from Somalia. or specifically Somaliland, Hargeisa, right? And they grow pretty much everywhere, the pomegranate trees. Yeah, so the pomegranate trees grow pretty much everywhere. Pretty much all the houses have, like, a lot of the houses have it. When I was there a few years ago, I went into a house that had like a pomegranate tree, you know what I mean? Me having the history with the pomegranates. But unfortunately, the house I rented didn't have it. But inshallah, in the future, I'm gonna get me a house with the pomegranate tree. Yeah, so I told him the little story about, where I come from, Somalia. We have them too. Yeah, so after a little chit chat, and I bought it from him, Sicilian oranges and Israeli pomegranate, I was like, well, you can come to Somaliland, you know what I mean? I was putting him on game, give you a deal, you know what I mean? Anyways, bye.